Everybody, some few minutes. I was trying to get on here a little bit early to make sure I get on in the groove. Because I always have so much trouble, y'all. Only me. Just saying. And we are. Holy crap. I think it was the multi-streaming thing. I kept forgetting to do that. So hopefully that'll be fixed from here on out. You know, I'm just saying, but let me pull it up here. All right. Hey, y'all. What's going on? Hey, LaDonna. Hey, Betty Jane. Hey, Kathy Kennedy. Cooley. Welcome, y'all. What we're going to do tonight is I'm going to get some of this stuff out while people are hopping on. But I'll kind of explain this. I don't have to explain it again, y'all. What we're doing is a topiary. I can't say the word, so bear with me. I can spell it. I can't say it. That's a topiary. Anywho. All right. So we got an 8-inch ball from the Joann's or the Michaels or one of the craft stores, okay? And this one I had a piece of PVC pipe laying around, so I just cut it down. But you can use a, you can go to any one of the hobby stores or the locals and get you a wood dowel. It's about 3/4 of an inch, okay? And this one, I knew I couldn't paint PVC. I don't know why I tried it anyway, because we do it at work and it never works. It takes you about once or twice, and it's like, oh, this can't be done. Excuse me. So anyway, how I started this, I did this while I was off after my surgery. This was a metal pan, or metal, a tin container. Okay, what I did is I decoupaged some napkins around here on this, okay, and then I took this rope. You can use the burlap rope or this rope. This is what I had, so that's what I used, and I just glued it around the bottom a little bit and around the edge up here. I don't know if you can see. Let me zoom in here. I don't know if you can kind of see that. And then I took it, because I stupidly painted that, I went and I just kind of, I started glued around the bottom, and then I just kept wrapping it tightly, pushing it down, glued a little bit, wrapped it tightly, pushed it down, glued a little bit, did the same thing all the way up. Okay, so now my stem is probably, or let's say our thing, it's probably about 12, let's see, let's find a 13 or 12. I'm going to say it's 12. I cut that. I left 12 inches sticking out. I probably went in about 3 inches on this, okay? So that's how I basically started this, okay? And, of course, I filled it with capping, whatever you call that stuff, okay? And what we're going to do is, I was going to go with all yellows, but I decided to mix it up because we're going to use some of this fun stuff. Oh, shoot, I forgot to bring those over. I have to go grab those. This fun pick right here. This is a Regency. I don't know where I got this. I found that in there. It's a summer bling with bee pick. It's a 16-inch pick. It's M as in Mom, T as in Tom, F as in Frank, and 22990. Okay, on that multi. So we're going to use some of that around the base, around this bottom. It's probably going to add some of this that Lori sent me. Oh, this don't have. Yeah, this is a Select Artificials. This one's PM2264 BLA V as in Victor. Wild Blossom and Lavender Bundle. So I don't know if she has those in her shop, but Lori sent me that. So we're going to use those. We're probably going to add a little bit of moss in here. I don't know about my ribbons. I think with all the purples in this, we're going to go crazy on that and just use some of that. All right. And then we might throw some of these mossy, rocky looking things in there. I do believe those are from Sims. Okay. So let's get going now. Everybody's here. Hey, Kathy, Terry, Susan. How y'all doing? You ready to get going? These are really fun to make, guys, because you can use, if you didn't want to use the 8-inch ball, I've got a 6-inch, but it was rolled way back under the corner of my table, and I'm not crawling down there to get it. If you don't want to use this bigger one, you could use a smaller one. Okay, I tried to pick and choose my battles on that when I went with the bigger one. Will it be a good choice? We don't know, guys. Is anything I do ever a good choice? Sometimes, sometimes not. But that's the fun of it, okay? So, I got 3 each of these bushes from the Michaels. It's a, I don't know why all their stuff, half their stuff says bush Gerby. I don't know. It says it's a ranunculus. I always call them ranunculus. But they're 50% off right now, so I bought 3 of each. I probably got way too many because, like I said, I was going to go with all yellow, and I decided to add this pink and stuff in here to match our florals and everything to bring out a lot more color, okay? So we're going to go with that, y'all. So I've cut up a few. I got a head start and cut it up a bunch, okay? And I think I'm going to cut up, I'm at least going to cut up 1 more bush. But let's get started on this so we can get this drying. What I did to measure the center of this, because I really ruined one, making it, it's got 3 holes in it. It looks like a bowling ball. It looks like a bowling ball. I couldn't get it on there in the center and straight. So what I did, and if you got a tape measure, it works better. I took a piece of string, I pinned it, and went right down around the center. I eyeballed it so it looked perfectly in the center. Okay. Ah! Of course, now I dropped it. Dang it. Okay, so if you pin it, then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I just went straight down around the center, came up around the other side. If you've got a tape measure, you know, like one of the sewing ones, the sewing ones would be good. And then I took a Sharpie and I kind of marked it right here, I looked down and I kind of marked it where I started. Okay, so that kind of gave me my center hole. And then I took it upside down. Okay, because I tried, the last one I did, I tried doing it from the top down and pulling and pushing down. I went crooked. Okay, so I found like it was easier to go down and push straight down on the table as opposed to pushing the ball down on the stem. Okay, so what we're going to do there is we're going to fill this sucker with glue. Hi. And the only good thing about using the PVC pipe, if you're going to wrap it or something, you don't want to paint it, is it has that hole in it. And when you put it, I don't know if you can kind of see down in here. Get that out of the way there. I don't know if you can kind of, which way am I going here? Whoop, over here. Nope, over here. You can't see. It leaves a little nubbin down in there, okay? Leaves a little nubbin. And that'll glue right down into the center. But a wood dowel will work the same way, okay? It'll all work good. But we're just going to shoot a whole lot of glue in here just to make this, just to make it stick good, okay? I'm going to stick a whole bunch in here, right around the edge, okay? And then we're going to place this right on here, okay? Then we're just going to turn around, make sure it's kind of straight, and see how it gets kind of centered up in there. You like that? Hey, Sean, how are you? Hey, Trace. Oh, hey, Mike. How are you doing? Oh, no, you could have up north Ohio. Down south Ohio was bad enough. So, all right, so let's get that out of the way. If you just joined, like I said, I wrapped a rope around the PVC pipe. I crapped and gapped this. I did the decoupage and glued some roping around just a silver tin, a cheap silver tin. Okay, we just jujued, that's my new word, jujued. I don't know if it's a word, but whatever. So these we want to cut just about 1.5 inches. Okay, and I'm saving these leaves. I save all my leaves, y'all. Never know when you'll need some. So we're just going to cut up another bush real quick. Okay. And some of these are a little smaller than others. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. We're just cutting up. Oops, We'll get those out of the way. We're just cutting up a bunch of leaves. Okay. Just cut these all up. Like I said, save the leaves. You might add them to something. Something. It's gonna leave too close. We'll just throw that one in the garbage. Okay, so we're just cutting these all down about 1.5 inches stems. That's all you need. Okay, because we're just sticking them right down in the bowl. Sorry, Mike. Alright. So there we go. We got a bunch started. Again, like I said, you probably need, I guess, 4 to 5 bushes of these size little flowers for this project. Okay. Hey, Carol. Hey, Cease. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start at the top, and we're just going to rotate around. Okay. We're just going to rotate. Okay. So I want to hold. I'm going to hold these up a little bit so you don't glue. And we're just going to try to go right in. What I'm going to do is try to look down right in the center here. I'm hoping that's the center. Okay. And all you want to do is just glue that. Just stick it. I think I cut that one too long. There we go. We're just going to stick it in, okay? It's kind of a time-consuming little project. Not too long. Just snip that down. I'll snip these down just a hair. What are you chewing on? She's chewing on. And I'm just going to come down here. And this is going to be hard. I think I'm going to put this down here on here so I can see to start out, guys. I'm just going to go down about 1 inch or so. Okay. Make sure your leaves are all up. And guys, we might use these as fillers just in case later if you see a little bit of white and whatnot. You can use moss. You can pin or glue some little mosses in there. A little bit of floral moss. Okay, I'm just going to rotate these. Not working out like I wanted it to, but it will. I should cut these down a little bit more. Wait, don't stick them in so far. But these turn out really cute. They're good for outdoors. I made one for Valentine's a couple of years ago. See how pretty those colors work together? See how I'm rotating these all the way around? Okay. And again, you could use all one color. But that's what you choose to do. Okay. I just got this wild hair and said, yeah, I'm going to use 2 colors. Oh, that one's not looking there good. All right, so here we go. I think we're coming around town pretty nicely. Okay. And there's not really a whole lot of rhyme or reason in this. Sometimes it doesn't come out perfectly. You might get one close to the other. Okay, see how we're just going around town? So now we're going to start on our next row. Let's pull all these over here. Okay. So I think we'll just start, like, see right here. We'll spread these out a little bit, but we might go down and add, we'll pull these little branches back and maybe add some of this greenery in between here, just to add a little something, something, and to kind of hide that white. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, I lost my line, y'all. All right, can't see it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So let's get going back around town here. Okay. So this is what I'm saying. Once you get down around here, you might have one similar, you know, kind of close. It's not going to matter once you're done. Okay. It's not going to matter. Okay. Because you're just going to keep adding this yellow. Because if I had put a yellow one here, it would have been next to there. Okay. So we're just going to keep going around. Pink is just going to add that flash of color. So that's what we want. That's what we're going for. Okay. Keep forgetting to cut these down a little bit. Anybody got any questions so far? Everybody gonna try one of these? I hope you try one. They're super fun. And you don't have to use these kind of florals. You can use whatever, you know, you just want to kind of keep in mind that you are working in a circle. And let me zoom in here. Sorry, y'all. I'll just zoomed in now. I forgot where I was going with that. Something that'll kind of work, because the first flower I picked to try to do this was this like flat Gerber daisy. Okay, it didn't look right. It didn't give me the right fullness. I kind of practiced with it that I was going for. So I decided against that. I went with something more like this. Okay. So again, we're just going around town. And then the bottom, once we get to the bottom down here where we're going to design this, then that's going to be super easy. Like I said, I'll have to go over and get those here in a second. I forgot to bring the other packs. Other packs over. Okay, but see how that just is filling around town? It's going to be so cute. Whoops, so cute. I think this will be really, I lost where it was. Okay, but I will have to cut up. I'm not sure. I hope I bought enough of these guys. I think I did. You might need 6 total each. I could have been a little wrong on that. But, you know, like I said, I got a lot of our projects we try together. I did make one similar to this. It was a different flower. So, I'm just kind of hoping this kind of works. So, I think over here we've got a little bit smaller space. Let's find one. These are, some of them are a little bit, let's see, we'll go in there with that one. Some of them are just a hair smaller. I don't want them too small. Let's see about that. Let's do that one. Okay, let's stick that one in there. It seems a little tedious, but I mean, we're already almost halfway around town here, so I think we're good. Let's see, this one I think one a little bit smaller. One as well. That one looks good. Let's use that one. Okay, see, we're already just about halfway around. Okay, whoops, down here. Hey, Darlene. Okay, but this greenery also will add a little bit of extra color. I'm kind of break up this and be like leaves. I'm not gluing these in right now. I'm just going to try to show you how to break it up a little bit there with that little bit of greenery. Okay, see how that kind of breaks it up a little bit too as well. All right, so where we at? I think now I can kind of come back up here because we're about in the view where I can see. So let's start. Let's just pick a random flower. We'll use these up and we'll just cut a few more. Okay, we'll come down here with this one. Okay. Whoops, I'm trying not to glue my things in there. Get that in the spot I wanted it. I went too far away that time, y'all. No harm, no foul. Whoa, hello. Come back here. Nasty thing. So we'll just glue that one back on and stick that back in the spot. Okay. go back up in here a little higher. And if you guys want to, you know, if you're not comfortable, you can always just play around and put these in and place them in, and then go back and just kind of pull them out and glue them. I've done that, and that's sometimes how I practice to see if this, you know, is a design that I'm really going to want to conquer on something like this, or if it'll work, you know, because a lot of times I do, a lot of times I don't. Trust me. A lot of times I just go for it. It works or it don't. But for you guys, if you know you don't feel comfortable, then just poke them in there and take them back out and try something different. You know, try it again. Or try a different floral. I did practice, like I said, with the Gerber daisies because I thought that would be so cool. Nope, it didn't. This one's wanting to bend. It didn't want to work for me, so. Hands are not wanting to work. Now we're going to cut that one down. That's got a little hook on it there. From a leaf. So we're going to cut that off. Well, let's cut the whole dang thing off. So we're going to go to our go-to. Our little stems that we save. Okay. Off of other florals. And I'll just cut the wrong end of that. Don't even fit in there. And we'll stick that in there. Trim that down, no harm. No. Ooh, hello, about got me right in the face. And we'll just stick this one. I'm going to find my hole. There it is. There we go. Okay. Yeah, guys, save all these little things. I save them and then eventually cut them down because, like I said, that one just came in handy. And that's how I cut this floral down and made a lot more pieces out of it, was using those stems. Okay. Start cutting these down a little bit. They're starting to want to bend on me. You probably only need about an inch. I'm going to go back on my word there and say, we're going to say inch. About all you need on those. Okay. How we learn, guys. Practice. I should have done half of this before, but I wanted to show you how to start it since I had already painted this. I didn't really want you to all miss out on learning something. Leave it on there. Good. I like that spot. Up a little higher. Is everybody liking this so far? Everybody's up quiet tonight. Everybody's up quiet tonight. Except for me. I don't think I'm ever quiet. Alright, so see how this is filling in really nicely all the way around. We're almost, you know, kind of around town. And then you can see how you can see some of the white filler coming through. That's where we'll go back and probably, I don't know if I'll do that tonight, but we'll add, you know, I'll do a few pieces to show you. But that's where we'll add some of that greenery to break it up and to make it, where are we at? Right over here. Just to break it up a little bit there. Okay. these are really fun, guys. These are really fun. Like I said, I made a really cool one for Valentine's one time that I sold, and it was super cute, really pretty. And there we go. We're at yellow again. But what? What is she talking about? Hold on, Jimmy. Let me get this in here, and I'll answer your question. Who's pipe? Is that Mike still, Tracy? You give me a hard time. Okay. Wait. Let's see. So hold the topiary in the pot. Okay, this was a PVC pipe, but like I was saying, I had that laying around. But what you can get is dowel rods. This is obviously the one I roll my ribbon with. But you would probably want at least an 18-inch one, 3/4. Okay, and then you just fill your pot with the cracking gap. Oh, you're right. It looks like a shower cap. He said, oh my God, now I got drawing on here just for giggles. Here, hold on, guys. I don't know if this this marker's belt gone. Yeah, that marker won't do good. There you go, Mike. I don't know if you can see it. I'll zoom in. Yeah, that marker didn't work. Let's try a face on it. Oh, that was funny. But anyway, I'm sorry. I filled it with the foam gap. You can use your floral foam from the store. I decoupaged this just tin pot. And then I wrapped rope and glued rope around the edges, around the bottom, this border, and around, oh, sorry. I'm not zooming in. I wrapped the rope around here, here, and all the way up around the dowel. Okay? All the way up around that dowel. Whoop, I got the wrong one here, so we're going to stick it right in her eyeball. Right there. Grab this one. Whoop, glue string. We'll use that one. That one's wrapping around my... I'll strangle somebody with that one. I think we use this one. But that's all I did. And then I glued the ball to the dowel, okay? And glued it down into our base here, okay? So see how we're getting nice and round now? So we are going to cut, probably going to cut some more. We're probably going to use these smaller ones, maybe around the bottom. So I am going to cut some more up here, because we're getting close to the bottom. Thank goodness. Okay, now I'm going to turn it on its side so I can kind of see here. Forget to cut these down a little bit. Okay. Let me grab one more of these. Let me grab the other two florals that I'm going to be using here. The other two bunches I didn't grab. Oh, and one more of those. Thought I had one more. It might be over here somewhere. Well, I'm grabbing one, I know. I know I at least want 2 more of those, so let's cut a few more of these down. I'm going to come and cut the bigger ones. So we'll cut a few more of these. Those there, and then And another yellow somewhere. Cut another yellow. Do real quick. This is going to turn out so pretty, guys. They're really super pretty. Especially once we get those flowers around the bottom. Okay. So we're on pink. Hurry up and get these done so I can get on that bottom. We'll probably add like a small bow off of it as well. Okay. But the florals that we're going to put on the bottom are really going to add a lot of colors, or a lot of color. Okay. See how we're filling this in real nice? Use one of these smaller ones in here. No, we don't use one of these. Use one of those right in here. I'm really glad I went with the two colors. It just kind of makes it look, you know, super pretty. Oh, you're welcome. If you have any other questions, just ask me, Jane. Whoop, wrong color. Wrong color. Okay, now we're to that color. Now we're down around the bottom, and we're almost done. And we can get to the fun stuff, or the other fun stuff. Okay. You need to go back and kind of pull your leaves out and straighten them out. So now we're down around this bottom here. Like I said, you can use a smaller ball, the 6-inch, or you can use the 8-inch, okay? It doesn't, it pretty much depends on what floral or what flower that you're going to use. Is probably going to be your designing factor of what you'll use, in my opinion, in my experience. Okay. Let's throw these smaller ones. Get rid of some of these smaller ones. Stick those down in here. Okay. More smaller. And then we're done. Done with that part, guys. Alright, so see, now we got this full ball. We got a full ball going on here. Okay. Like I said, we'll add some of this greenery throughout here, but let's get going on the base. I won't spend all this time probably showing you how to put this greenery in there. It's just, like I said, it's just a filler. Basically, just to cover up white spots and add a little bit of greenery up in here, in between, you know, your florals and stuff like that. So let's get rid of that glue strings hanging on me. I'm fishing for florals. All right, let me get these out the way, and we'll get down around the bottom. We'll get down around there. Okay. So let's get those. Let's get going down here on this base. Okay. So everybody get about the greenery up here. Just kind of adding, kind kind of covering. You could use moss, and you could just add that around the top. Okay, I won't spend all that time doing that. I'm going to spend all this time on these flowers. Okay, so let's get going on these. These I'm going to use probably 2 or 3 of these. Okay, oh, they're cute. They've got the bee and the whatnot in there. They're super cute. Okay, and we're going to try to put these in one piece. This will save our project a lot of time. Okay, time is money. We want to save as much time sometimes as possible. Okay, you can always go back, like I do, and kind of see, oh, it might need this, it might need that. Okay, or add, or, you know, Susan's always adding, or taking stuff out. You know how I roll. Okay, so we're just spreading it out. Okay, spreading that out. Mix it up a little bit. Okay, this way we won't have to cut it all apart and then mix it back in. What? Hey, what's going on? You actually made a wreath. Wow. Good for you. Back in it, girl. Okay, so we got these. Okay, so we got 2 of those. I think we'll only, I'm hoping we'll get away with 2, but I doubt it. So what you want to start with is you want to add a little bit of moss. This messy. I'm going to do this over here by this garbage can because it's going to be a mess. I already made a mess. Okay, so we're just going to pull out a little bit of moss. Okay, and just kind of lightly wrap it around the top. And then I like to pin it kind of in with a little bit of glue. Okay, I just want to kind of hide that. Yeah, you just kind of want to hide that foam a little bit. Okay, but you still want to be able to, you know, kind of go in and put your florals in there, pin, which it'll go through. Don't get me wrong, but you basically just want to cover up your foam. Okay. Oh my goodness, this stuff makes me. Okay, so I'm just going to pin that in real quick. I'm just going to glue that. Stick some pins in. Just in a few random spots. Okay. Whoop, I missed that. I have a pin there. And if you still see white when you're done, you can always just go back and glue a little bit more on there, a little more back in there. Okay, it's no big deal. If you really just want to glue this on, you can, but I tend to like to pin my stuff, my moss. Okay. Back around town here. Two more of these out. The floral will help hold it in somewhat as well. Okay. I'm gonna need one more there. Okay. All right, let's sweep that up real quick, and then we'll add these florals in here. Okay. So we got our topiary, we got our foam or our moss in there. Let's start adding these picks. Okay, we might use, like I said, we might add some of those as well. I'm gonna pick and choose here. So I want that fern kind of going around the outside. So I'm gonna kind of turn this one kind of around this way a little bit. I've got some other stuff we could add in here. Okay, so I'm going to cut it down around here. Woo, hello. Okay. And I don't know if I'll be able to tear that off. poke it in there, or if I want to pin it. I think I'm going to poke it. Okay? I think I'm going to try to poke it in there and then pin it. Okay, so we're just going to go in at an angle and go down in our foam. Make a mess with our moss. Don't think you won't. Okay, and these we can just adjust. Move out and adjust around. Look how cute that is. See how it's adding all that color to around the bottom and everything? Okay, so we are going to need 3 of these. I had 4. I don't know what I did with the... I don't know what I did with the 4th one. I do not know. I don't know. So let's get this one on here. Again, we'll just cut that down a little bit. Okay. We'll bend that so we can kind of push that in there. And I think I'll go, let's go over around in here. Okay, I'm just going to pull my moss out of the way a tad. I'm going to go kind of in a triangle here, spacing them apart. Okay? Kind of in a triangle since we're using 3. Okay? And then these you can just, like I said, when we get these in here, we'll kind of spread these apart, see if we need to add a little more filler, which I'm sure we probably will. But these are so cute. I love this one. This pick. I wish I could find my other one. I know I got another one. We might need it. Okay. Bend that. Bend that. There we go. Pull these out. Just spread those around. Okay. Pull those all up. Our little bees showing in there. Okay. We want our fern again kind of showing as well. You know what? I think 3 is going to do it. Because we're just going to add a few other little ferns or something in here. I think that will do it. And we might just add some of these. I think that'll do it. Okay. Again, I'm going to try to angle this in that triangle. Go down. I push that. What am I hitting? I cut that off short enough. I didn't cut that off short enough. I'm like hitting a treasure chest or something in there. Might have been hitting my post. I don't know. Might have been hitting that. Okay, we'll just swish these around, spread those out so we get all this color kind of going around town. Okay, so, oh my God, this looks so springy. Oh, I love it. But it's just adjusting these florals to get them kind of how you want them. We've got our fern here, we've got a fern over here, we've got our fern here. So once again, I'm going to sweep this moss off here. But isn't this cute? You know? Woo, hello, come back here. It's on my hump, the hump on my table. I hate that hump. Okay, so let's add a few of these little doohickeys. I like these because it adds a little bit of, sorry, y'all. See how I got this wobbly, this thing on my table, and it just, I need to get a new table. These add a little bit of an earthy, I know, don't you like the mixed colors, Trace? I really do too. Okay, so we'll just add a few of these little doohickeys in here. Like I said, it just kind of adds a little earthy something to it. That one's not being my friend there. We'll just add about 3. Let's just add about 3. And these are from the Sims. do with my cutters? Well, oh, I traveled with them. I don't know. Let's see if these will work. All right, put them up there in my garbage. I knew it. Oh, yeah, those won't. They're in my garbage can. Oh, they do. Okay. We'll just add these down in here. And again, that kind of hides. Oh, sucker just came right out of there. Again, it just kind of hides. No, it didn't. That one just came out the top. Pushed too hard. Again, it adds just a little bit more earthy, like you're going through the forest, like you're going through the, you know, field, whatnot. It just adds that funness to it, okay? So we got all that going on there. I may go back and add a little more greenery down in, or moss down around the base. I think I might add a few of, how are we on time? Oh, we got time. Might add a few of these. Oh, thank you, Terry. Thanks, Trace. I think we'll add some of these down in here. I'll just cut a couple of these different things up. Just add another little splash of color in here. Let's just see what we got. Let's just randomly put them in, guys. Okay. Just add a little more splash of color there, okay? Let's add this one coming down in here. Add this one up in here. Okay. And let's see what else we got here. Let's add one of these. Come down in here. Another one of these. I really like this one. Add that one down in here. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Let's add some of these. Down in there. Kind of wildly I really kind of like that. I think I need one more of these purples right here. I think that'll look good. There, over here. Kind of adds to that. Then guys, I don't even know if we need a bow. If I make a bow, I think I'm just going to do just something simple, but I really don't think it needs a bow. I think all we need, I would probably do, I did a bow. Sorry guys, I keep seeing a bare spot. You want to kind of fill in your bare spots if you find them there, okay? If I did a bow, I would probably take one of these little moss stones out, because you probably need that spot for that bow. We might make just a little small one here since we got time. Kind of like that. I don't know if I got one more of those. I do. Just kind of fills up around the inside, hides those little little spots in there that I want hidden. Okay. There we go. And then, like I said, we'll just go and flip these out, adjust some of those. And again, like I said, if I made a bow, I would probably go with something like maybe we could go with something. You could go with something like this, just because we have those bees in there. Or you could add. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You could add this since it matches that with the bee, okay, and make a simple 2-colored bow, or 1 color, 2 color. I was saying loops. And just do something like I said, I would take one of these out right here and go in the side. But I don't know, guys. I might make a bow and try. I don't know. What do you think? You think it needs a bow? You think it needs a bow? What we could do? We could do a bow. I'm thinking this one color for some reason. Since we got our spring garden. Yeah, Tracy said, thanks, Trace. Yeah, I don't think it needs a bow. I'm just showing you options. I'm really deciding against this bow. But if you wanted to, you could just add a simple little 2-loop bow and a preferred choice that you would want. And you could just add it instead of like the that in there. You could just add the bow off to the side. This would look silly. So I'm thinking no bow, y'all. I'm like a no bow. I'm with you all on that one. Like I said, we'll come and spread these florals out kind of a little better. I kind of kept mushing them as I was putting the other stuff in there. But yeah, guys, I think we're pretty much good other than adding this greenery in between, you know, where there's white spots. Like I said, you can use moss instead. Got all kinds of, but it will just, or you can leave it plain. I mean, you're really not seeing a whole lot of that white. You just spread your things out a little bit more. But I think I might go back in with this greenery and add these little, those little leaves. I think it just kind of adds to it. And quite honestly, I'm going to add some around this bottom. I'll have to cut them longer. But I might add some of that down around the bottom in shorter pieces as well. Anyway, guys, you guys like this project? Who's going to try one? Huh? Who's going to try one? Thanks, Donna. I know, Terry, you could do a really small one. I'm just thinking, you know, I just pulled all these out here. You could do a small, but who's going to try one of these? Everybody like, thanks, Betty Jane. I always get it the wrong way when I do that. You could do like a small bow and maybe even pin it to or glue it to even the side. You know, if you really wanted a bow, you know, you could do something like that. Or again, just stick it in there. But again, I think I'm gonna leave the bow out. Yeah, Kathy, try one. They're super fun. Thank you, Susie. Yeah, they're super fun. Like I said, they're kind of tedious. Let me show you here's how it looks on the top. Like I said, we'll go and add a little bit of this greenery in here. And then we got our little florals going on in there. Okay. And you can use kind of any pot. And again, like I said, you can use a smaller ball, which I think I wouldn't have used the smaller ball on this one. I just wish I would have had a bigger pot, but this is what I had, is what it is. But it's still fun. So the next size down ball would be like a 6.7 is what you would have to use if you're going to use like a smaller pot. But anywho, you know, it is what it is. I think it's cute and pretty, and I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, that might work too, Trace. I'll have to see if I got a color. I might have a purple. I'd have to see if I have a 1 inch or 7/8 to even maybe put in there. But I'll post pictures once I decide what I'm going to do and I get it all fluffed out. And once I get those greeneries and everything in there. Okay. I think I like it. I hope you all like this. I always try to, I know it's, oh, Trace. Tell Mike thanks for reminding me. Tell him he scared me with the praying mantis thing, because them things freaked me out. Oh, heck no, Mike. I don't think so. But if you have little birds, you know, you could add little birds in here. I don't think I will, but that's just an idea to show you. I pulled them out just in case. And also, we could do, since Tracy mentioned, let's see if we got a contrast in color here. Since Mike, they're tag teaming me tonight. Excuse me, mentioned that. You could do little butterflies. You could glue a little butterfly down here on this moss. Down in here. You could glue butterflies up in throughout, like your design up in here. Well, if you can kind of see that, you could add the butterflies there. Or like I said, you could add a little butterfly down in here to that little mossy, rock and stuff. The sky's the limit, guys. You know, just you know, kind of play with it and step back, look at it again, like I always do, and say, what do I need to take out, if anything, or what do I need to add, or how can I make it better? I know the butterflies do work. I think I'm going to add, once I get that greenery in there, I might add some butterflies sporadically to this. I think that would be cool. But thanks, Mike, for that. You reminded me I had those sitting over here. I appreciate that. No, I won't use the praying mantis. Them things, ooh, they just freak me out. Freak me out. They stare at you. They just stare at you. And then I'm like, are they side eyeballing me? They're just, yeah, they're freaky. Hi, Denise. But anyway, guys, I hope you like this project. I got to come up with something for next week. I don't know. I got my stuff from Dawn. Yay. So I got some stuff, Carolina pottery. And I got all kinds of projects I got planned for you guys. I just got to figure them out, what I want to do. So, anywho, I hope you like this. If you have any questions, shoot them out in the group. Shoot them to me, message, just, you know, private message me, whatever. I'd be more than happy to help y'all. And hopefully this went to Vimeo this time. So, but anyway, guys, as always, laugh and live with a half full cup. You know, it's all about clouds, find the sun. And I hope you try something like this. And I will see you guys online or next week, okay? Thank y'all so much. Bye. Thank you, doll.